Hello again, everyone. I'm Paul the Nitro Skyrers, and welcome to this edition of the Nitro Corner. Today is Friday, and it's time for part one of our weekend report. And let's get right into it. I'll have my Nitro opinion in the end. A spoiler alert for those reading Pro Wrestling Illustrated. That will be my topic for this week, but that comes at the end of the program. So let's begin, as always, with the Monday Night Raw report from this past Monday night. And it all started out with Triple H, the COO, the career politician, as I like to call him, comes out to ringside and announces that he will be now the special guest referee for the undisputed WWE title match between John Cena and CM Punk. Talk about stacking the deck against CM Punk. I hope Triple H doesn't screw this one up, the career politician that he is. Next up, John Cena, after having some strong words with Triple H, Triple H orders him to go against Jack Swagger. Wow, what a punishment. Beating Jack Swagger for the umpteenth time. I'm sorry, folks. I got to step in here. You got a great athlete in Jack Swagger, and you have him losing week in and week out to good talent because Jack Swagger is just a punching bag for someone else? Come on now, you got to treat him a little bit better than that. He is a former World Heavyweight Champion. Well, that's just my opinion about it. Nonetheless, John Cena defeated Jack Swagger and has momentum heading into SummerSlam this Sunday. Moving on now, The Miz scored a victory over Kofi Kingston as The Miz tries to get back in the title picture. Next up, CM Punk, the man that started this whole thing and brought about a revolution in professional wrestling as far as I'm concerned, defeated Alberto Del Rio rather handedly. And you call Alberto Del Rio the number one contender after getting trounced by CM Punk? Come on now. Even though he broke Evan Bourne's arm, hell, I can break Evan Bourne's arm. I'm just kidding. But nonetheless, CM Punk handily disposes of Alberto Del Rio. Next up, the new heel persona that is Beth Phoenix defeats Torres after the matchup. Kelly jumps her from behind. What does that prove? That Kelly can sneak attack Beth Phoenix? What about doing it straight up, one-on-one? I got a funny feeling those two are going to go at it at SummerSlam this Sunday. Next up, Alex Riley backs up his words from last week as he defeated Dolph Ziggler by disqualification because of the interference of Vicky Guerrero. Afterward, there was an argument involving Vicky Guerrero and Dolph Ziggler. I guess things are smoothed out now between those two business partners, to say the very least, and I say that very loosely. Next up, in a revenge match, R-Truth thwarted the revenge of John Morrison by beating him in the middle of the ring. R-Truth's definitely one of the most crazier heels in the WWE. And then the finale, the contract signing between CM Punk and John Cena. CM Punk basically carried that promo, folks, and he told the truth that John Cena is a bad actor, that John Laurinaitis doesn't have the guts to fire anybody face to face. So I'll tell you what, I found a compilation of CM Punk promos, and that it features that press conference. I'll have it on my favorite section on the Rest 101 channel, and you can see for yourself the brilliance of CM Punk. Afterward, John Cena says he's tired of talking. It's time to do some fighting. What fighting? CM Punk basically got the best of you. After getting kicked in the head, John Laurinaitis' head knocked him straight out into La La Land. John Cena tries to come back after CM Punk, but nails Triple H instead. But Triple H and John Cena had that face down, looked about as fake as the day was born, and CM Punk leaves the scene of the crime. Should be very interesting to see what happens at SummerSlam involving those two men, and that is the Monday Night Raw report. Raw overall, again, was okay. CM Punk basically carried the show as far as I'm concerned, and he has been for the last few weeks. I don't mind saying that at all. Next up, let's do the Impact report from last night. It all started with Immortal, or as Bully Ray says, we are immortal. We are not stupid, Bully Ray. We know you're immortal. We can see it, or whatever's left of it, because Mr. Anderson did not like the way Bully Ray was talking about him. Matter of fact, Bully Ray says, yeah, but I beat you at the pay-per-view. But no, bro, no, that's on bridge under the water. Water under the bridge. Yeah, it was definitely water under the bridge, but it was a very rocky water under the bridge as Mr. Anderson nailed all 3 members of Immortal before being laid out by Immortal with the chain and stuff. Mr. Anderson, bleeding from the forehead, laid him out after being choked with the chain as well. We are immortal. Yes, we sneak attack people from behind. Ooh, whatever, Bully Ray. Whatever. Next up, Mickie James defeated Madison Rayne to get back on her winning ways, is now the #1 contender for the Knockouts title and will be definitely facing winner coming up in the very near future for the Knockouts Championship. Next up, Kendrick scores a victory over a man that will be at the 1CW Body Slam for Autism 2 event, Robbie E. As I mentioned earlier in a special update, thanks to Cookie's botched interference, Robbie E lost. Now there's problems involving Robbie E and Cookie after the incident this past Thursday on Impact. If you want to know how my opinion about Robbie E, check out the special report for 1CW Body Slam for Autism event involving Robbie E. Next up, a Bound for Glory Series 6-man tag team match as Beer Money and AJ Styles defeated Rob Van Dam, the Pope, and Devon. Robert Roode scored the point on Devon with the perfect plex, picking up 7 big points and has moved himself now to 2nd place in the Bound for Glory series. Very interesting situation indeed. Nice rise for Robert Roode. Next up, the TNA Knockout Tag Team Champions, Tara and Miss Tessmacher, defeated ODB and Jackie. Afterwards, they shook hands in a sign of respect. It looks like the Knockout Tag Team Champs are going to be quite a formidable force in the women's division in TNA. Next up, Eric Bischoff, the almighty himself. Eric Bischoff delivers a meeting of all the X Division stars. And now the network has handed down the edict. The X Division is its own division. The weight limit is 225 pounds. Very good weight limit for the X Division. That means Abyss is out of the X Division. Quite frankly, he never belonged in the X Division in the first place. And that next week, there will be a gauntlet to determine who will face Brian Kendrick for that X Division title next week, in a couple weeks on Impact. Next up is Los Double J, otherwise known as Jeff Jarrett, with his Los Double J promo. Now, first off, he calls the Mexican heavyweight title the Immortal heavyweight title. Jeff, you own part of the company, fool. Why are you wanting more hog of the glory? Come on now. Excuse me. The Immortal Heavyweight Championship? Whatever, dude. You ain't even the Mexican heavyweight champion. As far as I can tell. Who did you beat? Did you beat some local to get the Mexican heavyweight title and then have Impact have you celebrate in the back in Mexico during a TNA event or during an Impact event? Give me a break. And also it was kind of borderline racist, so to speak, by bringing out the Lopez Landscaping, the Lopez brothers of Lopez Landscaping, allegedly to endorse Jeff Jarrett when they spot Hector Guerrero. They cheer for Hector Guerrero. Jeff Jarrett did not like that. They attacked Lopez Landscaping until Hector Guerrero came by with the chair for the save. Los Double J is Los Loser as far as I'm concerned. Borderline racist, you decide. Next up, a very funny skip of Eric Young in Hollywood. He's got the star map out. He's looking for Scott Bale. That's right, Scott Bale of Happy Days fame is his next challenger. There's a preview coming soon where Scott Bale himself will confront Eric Young. Should be an interesting bout from Hollywood. Next up, the main event, Bound for Glory Series matchup as Crimson defeated Gunner, Bully Ray, and Scott Steiner in a fatal four-way match. Crimson picks up 7 points and remains the leader of the board until Kurt Angle attacks him and tries to injure his ankle. And then Kurt Angle has made it crystal clear he's going to take everyone out. And then the finale, the Kurt Angle promo. Yes, folks, Kurt Angle is now a member of Immortal as he and Hulk Hogan jump Sting from behind. Why? Kurt Angle blames Dixie Carter for not giving him the heads up on the Karen and Jeff Jarrett situation. Whatever, Kurt. You knew that your marriage was in trouble, and yet you're going to blame someone else for not giving you the heads up as to what's going on, as if you hadn't seen it yet? Come on, Kurt. Integrity, intelligence, intensity. I don't see that in that pro. All I see you is teaming up with Hulk Hogan and joining Immortal. And that is the Impact report for this week. Impact was a very good show this week. The Bound for Glory series has really moved along. It's a good concept, great matches. Big win, by the way, for Crimson. Big win for him. Definitely stood out this week on Impact. And now, time for the Nitro Opinion and a spoiler alert. For those of you who don't want to hear about this, please turn off the video now, and I will see you tomorrow for part 2 of the Weekend Report. For those of you who want to hear this spoiler, this is the Nitro Opinion for this week. Most recently on PWIOnline.com, I have to catch a glimpse of the next cover of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, which is their PWI 500, and the #1 wrestler for this year's PWI 500 is The Miz. The Miz? Wait a minute here. The Miz is the #1 wrestler in the PWI 500. Okay, I can understand him beating John Cena at WrestleMania and maintaining the title for the first 3-4 months of the year. But The Miz, there's other candidates that definitely deserve the #1 spot. For instance, Randy Orton. Look at him when he moved to SmackDown, became World Heavyweight Champion, consistent winning. How about CM Punk, the man leading the revolution? He should be #1. Hell, let's throw in the 1CW Heavyweight Champion, the York Daddy, Christian York. He defeated Axel Rotten in February. He defeated Carlito in May. And now he's getting ready to take on a mystery opponent in August at the Body Slam for Autism 2. Christian York also has held many independent championships throughout the East Coast, in the Northeast Territories. As far as I'm concerned, shouldn't Christian York be in consideration for the PWI 500? But The Miz, come on, The Miz is not the #1 wrestler. Maybe top 10, yes, but not the #1 wrestler in the PWI 500. Pro Wrestling Illustrated, you got this one wrong. It's not Miz-tastic, it's a mistake as far as I'm concerned. And that is the Nitro Opinion for this week. You can pick up your copy of Pro Wrestling Illustrated coming out in mid-August for the PWI 500 issue. And that is it for this edition of the Nitro Corner. I will be back tomorrow for part 2 of the Weekend Report, the SmackDown Report, and the Nitro Top 10. And please check out the special update for 1CW's Body Slam for Autism 2 card. The card has changed and it has gotten deep and action-packed. You should check it out on my channel, the Rest 101 channel. Until tomorrow, everyone, this is Paul the Nitro Skyver saying, so long, everybody.